You hear about a movie with a legendary director, a beloved star, and an incredible true story about a national hero, and you think, this is going to be a masterpiece. On paper, the film Ikkis had every single ingredient for success. So, what happened? Today, we're going to break down a recent review that really digs into why this super-hyped war film might have missed the mark.
At the very heart of this entire review is one single crucial word: conviction. The reviewer brings up modern classics like Shah and even older ones like Border. You know, those films that just grab you by the heart and don't let go. They pull you right into the story and you feel every single struggle and every triumph. The reviewer argues that this is the magic ingredient, and the lack of it is what they felt most in Ikkis.
But hey, before we get into what was missing, we really need to understand just how high the expectations were for this film. I mean, this wasn't just another movie release. For a lot of people, this was a huge cinematic event they were seriously looking forward to.
And it's so easy to see why the hopes were sky high. First off, you've got director Sriram Raghavan. This is the guy who made the brilliant thriller Andhathun. His name alone sets the bar incredibly high. Then, you've got the one and only Dharmendra in a major role. Come on! And to top it all off, the whole thing is based on the powerful, real-life story of Arun Katarbal, a hero who made the ultimate sacrifice when he was just 21. It's a winning combination, right?
Well, with a recipe that perfect, where exactly did things go wrong? This is where the reviewer says the film really started to lose its footing. Because despite that incredible pedigree, the final movie just failed to deliver that all-important emotional punch.
So, let's be crystal clear on what the reviewer is talking about when they say conviction. It's not just about telling a true story. It's about making the audience feel the truth of it deep down. It's that special something that makes a movie stick with you long after the credits roll. And in the reviewer's opinion, this was the key thing that was just missing from Ikkis. And this right here, this really gets to the core of the whole critique. The reviewer points out this huge disconnect between what you'd expect and what you actually get. You go in thinking you're going to see a story about a soldier's journey, his incredible bravery, the epic tank battle that made him a legend, but instead, what the film apparently gave us was a story that got sidetracked by a forced message about India-Pakistan brotherhood and a love story that just felt out of place.
So, the crucial point here is that this change in focus really watered down the main story. Instead of this sharp, powerful film about Arun Katarbal, it became something else entirely. A movie that seemed more interested in sending a message than in telling its own hero's story. All those distractions, the reviewer says, just weakened the very foundation of the film.
But let's be fair, the review wasn't all negative. The reviewer definitely makes a point to highlight the things that did work, the parts of the film that really did shine. The reviewer actually points out three big strengths. First up, the acting. Dharmendra was apparently a total joy to watch, and Jaideep Ahlawat was praised for his really solid supporting role. The other major plus, and this is a big deal for a war movie, were the tank battles. The reviewer loved them, saying they felt super authentic because they used real tanks and locations. It made the action feel grounded and totally realistic.
Okay, so you've got these powerful performances and great action on one side, but a story that just doesn't have that emotional punch on the other. So how does the reviewer weigh it all out? Well, that brings us to the final score.
When it comes to the criticism, the review really boils it down to three main problems. First, that brotherhood theme between India and Pakistan just felt forced, not natural. Second was that love story, which was seen as a totally unnecessary distraction. And third was the music. You know how vital music is in a war film? Well, this one apparently failed to stir up any of those patriotic or emotional feelings, which left some really key scenes feeling kinda flat.
And the effect of all these negatives was apparently pretty obvious right there in the movie theater. The reviewer shares this really telling story. People in the audience were so disengaged that they were either getting up and leaving or just pulling out their phones during the movie. Wow. That is a powerful sign that a film just isn't connecting with people.
And so, after adding up the authentic battle scenes and strong acting, but subtracting points for the unfocused story and lack of emotional depth, the final rating from this review comes in at a pretty lukewarm 2.5 out of 5 stars.
This whole review kind of leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? The source points out that movies like Border and Shah were huge successes, and both had this powerful patriotic core. Ikkis tried to swap that out with a different message, and, well, according to this review, it didn't work. So does that mean a strong, unapologetic patriotic feeling is the secret ingredient for this genre to really work with an audience? It's definitely something to think about.